Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Joe Flano Show. I'm your host, Joe Flano from Major League Barber. Man, finally, right? Man, finally here. It's been a long time coming. Definitely looking forward to seeing what brings the energy out of this particular show, right? This particular podcast. So here's the thing. The Joe Flano Show, presented by The Cut. The Cut, right? Changing the way barbers manage their business and connect with clients. I want to do a quick shout out to Dope Barber Brand, Barber Nerd in Chicago, and then Revival Barber Academy out of Lafayette, Indiana. And I'll share some more things about those brands in a moment here. So basically, this platform was created for real conversations inside the barber industry. Not just social media highlights, but what's really happening behind the chair. And there has to be a voice, right? And I've been in the industry for well over 25 years, and I know enough to be able to share. And not only that, have people on this show to share their experiences as well, right? Because we can learn from everybody. Today isn't about titles. It's about professionals. It's about mindset, growth, pricing, branding, and the evolution of an industry that continues to level up. So if you're a barber, entrepreneur, or someone focused on elevating your craft, this conversation is for you. All right? So let's get into it. I have two lovely guests here of the barber industry that's here to share their insight and something about themselves as well. I'm going to say a lot of something, right? So I want to introduce, we have Haley, all the way from Indiana. Say what's up, Haley.
What's up? I'm Haley Paul. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Cool. Fort Wayne, Indiana. A lot of y'all might be like, where is that? Well, listen, y'all. I've been there twice. And it's right outside Indianapolis, between Chicago. So they're good. They're good. She's great individual. She's also the award-winning barber, too. Don't sleep on her. All right? And then next, we got Osiris, a.k.a. I'm going to call her Barber Boss Lady, because that is her name. She's here, hails from California. But I'll let you take it away when it comes to that.
My name is Osiris, also known as Barber Boss Lady online. A lot of people do call me that when they see me, Barber Boss Lady. So yeah, it's kind of my title now. I am from California, now residing in the last 5 years in Las Vegas, and I love it here very much.
That's good. So you transitioned from California. You're like a next door neighbor to Vegas, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They don't like us too much out here, but
yeah. I can't even. I'm not going to get into that because I'm from Chicago, right? So
but nobody's from here. Nobody's from here. Okay, there you go. Okay, we have a lot. We have born and raised, and it's very rare.
There it is.
It's very rare to find somebody that's born and raised in Las Vegas. It's really rare, and when I find them, I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, right? It's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
I'm a Chicago kid, so I've been through it all with the weather and all that. Haley, I'm sure she can attest to it. And the cool thing is that like Vegas is a melting pot, right? And it's different cultures, right? We come from different cultures, different backgrounds, and obviously different cities when it comes to the food and all that. But particularly, we're talking about today barbering, right? Barbering is different in different cities and different regions, And the cool thing about it is that we can learn from each other. And that's what we all have been doing, in our experiences. So speaking of which, with that, you guys like my sunglasses? I like them.
I do. Very fresh. I like them very much.
Cool.
Yes.
Shout out to Habibi sunglasses, man. Go get yours. I got mine. You got yours. All right. That was a quick plug right there. All right. So let's dive into it, right? So Haley, I'm gonna start with you on this one. So you've been in the industry for how long?
9 years.
9 long years,
Yep.
right? And I'm pretty sure in those 9 years, we're not going to go ahead and say 10, honestly, just round it off. But 9 years, I know you've seen the difference in the barber industry. So like the current state of the barber industry right now, right? But before we dive into that, tell me a little bit about what made you want to become a barber. Obviously, you were a cos first. I know we talked about this briefly, but what made you want to transition into barbering, and how has it helped you since you've been a part of the barber family now, right? For quite some time.
So I started as a cosmetologist, and I thought I wanted to do women's hair. I've wanted to do hair since I was a kid, so it's kind of my childhood dream. But when I first got into my first salon, I kind of migrated more towards like doing men's cuts. I started to enjoy it more, and I realized that I thought I was a little bit better at it. And so I left the salon and I went and worked at a barber shop for a couple years where I really just made all my mistakes, learned a lot. I worked in a shop that was very much like rushing you to hurry up and do a cut in 20 minutes and get it out. So I feel like I garnered a lot of speed working there, and then the skill came with time after that.
Right.
So I've worked at a few different barbershops, and then the beginning of this year, I actually opened my own personal suite. So that's been really exciting for me, finally having an LLC. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah, cool. I mean, LLC, y'all see that? Y'all. So we already getting into that. That's that businesswoman boss energy right there, right? Right. That's that businesswoman boss energy. And again, anybody watching this, if you're an aspiring barber, it don't matter what walk of life you're in, gender, you can do it too, right? You know. And I'm gonna dive into that whole. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna just say it. Get out and say it. People think barbering it's obviously a male-dominated industry, supposedly. But I've been saying in my videos, it's no longer, and it has been for quite some time, has not been a male-dominated industry. I say it's entrepreneurial-driven, entrepreneurial-dominated, right? And I think, yes, there is challenges in the industry when it comes to, okay, I'm a woman, I don't get my chance, this and that. Look, put your head down, keep working. You're going to get there. You know what I mean? And a lot of you watching this, y'all see, I'm alongside two lady barbers. And here's the thing. This is a very young beginning of this particular podcast. And you probably be saying, well, why is he interviewing, or having two lady barber guests on? Because you know why? Y'all know what got me in barbering? My great aunt. She's the reason why I became a barber. She's the reason why I was in the shop for 12 years. She's the reason why I've been doing what I've been doing now for over 20, like I said, 25 years. So a woman definitely influenced me to do what I'm doing now. And I know God rest her soul, Aunt Tilly, if she was here, she would love this. She'd probably be on the show with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So with saying that, that's pretty good. So I appreciate you sharing information, Haley. Speaking of boss woman energy, we're going to slide over here to the barber boss lady, right? So obviously you've been doing it for quite some time. I'm going to let you share the details on that. And what made you want to transition into barbering? And now, well, she's transitioning to something else too, but I'm going to let her tell that side.
So I've been a barber for this year, 2026, 22 years. I've been in this industry for a very long time. My uncle was the one who introduced me into the world of hair. I lived in the salon since I was a little baby, running around 3 years old, 5 years old, 5 years old in the salon. As a teenager, I started working at the salon, sweeping, doing towels, washing hair. Around 14 years old, he started letting me like cut and like do foils and stuff like that. So at 16, my high school was offering to go to school for free, basically. So I went to cosmetology school in high school. So by the time I graduated high school, I graduated cosmetology school. Wow. So by the time I was 18, I was licensed. Right. So I've been doing this for 22 years. And I started doing women's hair, but he was a barber stylist, so he trained me in both. So just like Haley, I was actually better at barbering. My uncle was like, actually, you're really good at barbering, Mija. Like, this is where you should stick to, So I did. I stuck to men's haircuts. So then, I started, jumping around, in different barber shops. I wanted to work in all male shops because I wanted to learn how to do the lineups. At the time, Daddy Yankee came out. So like all the Hispanic, because I was in a Hispanic community, Latino community. So everybody started wanting to get the lineups and the tapers. And that wasn't a thing back then. It was like everybody got fades and, ones and twos. And so I was like, okay, I need to learn how to do all these other haircuts. So then I worked at my first barbershop, Tony's Barbershop in Sylmar. Rest in peace to him. That's where I got my start. He gave me a chance. He gave me a chair, and I started doing barbering also in a very high walk-in speed shop. So it was like, haircuts, 10, 20 minutes. So
I was getting them in and out.
We're getting them in and out.
So I was stressing.
I'm going to call that a fast food barbershop.
So it was, so I garnered my speed before I garnered my skill, which, now comes, in handy because I can actually do a 10-minute, 15-minute haircut. My first competition, I competed in 10-minute fast fade. I was second in place, So with DC the barber when he did the exotics thing in LA, so that was my first competition. And then fast forward to I'm 24. I opened up my first barbershop in Santa Clarita, California, in a very high end community neighborhood, and I was there for 10 years. I opened up my second shop. Yeah. Then 2020 rolled around. 2019, I had running 2 shops, running a couple barbers, and I was doing really well. I was, giving them back to my community. I had, charity events. I won 40 under, well, not, I didn't win. Sorry. I was nominated for 40 under 40 in my community. You know? So I wish I would have won because I would have brought that with me. But, there was a lot of stuff that I did in my community. And then, 2019, I opened up my second shop. I had a baby. I bought a 3-acre ranch. I had a 7-bedroom house. And, I was like spread thin. I was like, but 2020, I'm going to make it back.
Right.
2020 rolls around and it swallowed me up whole.
Just like that.
Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. God humbled me down, sat me down.
And you know what? That's what happens. That's what happens. And that's and it's crazy because that's not even half of what I know about her and what she shared, right? And we'll touch more on that, like what she's actually doing now. And she still loves what she does. She's still a barber. She's still doing her thing behind the chair, but in a different kind of manner. So that goes into now, right? We're in the barber industry. So we've already dug a little deep into what our backgrounds and why we got into what we got into. The current state of the barber industry. How do you feel about it? And I'm going to take it away to Haley. The current state of the barber industry.
Ooh, okay.
And again, this is in your eyes. And if you can use, and I want both of you to be comfortable with this, right? What you see on social media, right? And also what you see on a daily basis when it comes to being a barber and knowing and seeing different things from coworkers or from barber colleagues or whatever the case may be. So you giving your insight of what do you think it is? And again, you can talk about your experiences with the shows. Obviously, Haley, I said earlier, she's an award-winning barber, such as Barber Boss as well. So Haley, you can take it away.
Okay, so the current state of the industry, I think one of the big words I have to say is oversaturated. Mm-hmm. I think we can all agree with that. And I think what comes with that is almost like a little bit of invalidation because a lot of people think, oh, I'll just go be a barber. It's easy. But it's really an art form and it takes a lot more than just like picking up the clippers and cutting some hair. I mean, It's an experience, it's customer service, it's consistency, it's so much more than that. Right. But the industry, I think on the other side of that too, it's kind of popping off, Right. Like these creative cuts that we're seeing at like different competitions and whatnot, off the chain. Right. These precision cuts that you see, like these people that do that on Instagram or whatever, literally on point. So I do think that we're coming a long way with like skills and just really getting microscopic with the details, But overall, I mean, I'm also seeing a lot of people do kind of what I did and going solo and having your own suite and your own shop with just you, which creates a more personal, exclusive experience, if you will. But I mean, there's also a lot of barbershops that are still rocking with the community and having, 5, 10, 15, 20 barbers in there. So it just kind of depends on the city you're at, where the demand is, who's busy, who's not busy.
Great answer. I mean, that's broke it down pretty good. Osiris?
20 years in the industry, and how do I see the industry now? You know what? I agree with Haley. There's a lot of it's popping, and I love that because before being in the shows and stuff like that, I was only in my shop, and I only took care of my shop, and I was only worried about what was going on in my shop and my barbers and, me as a business owner. And now that I transition into this, the show world where I educate and now I'm a platform artist and I do showcases and, I've been picked up by, Pure O and other companies that I'm signing contracts with. And,
you tell them, girl.
Yeah. So, I feel like the industry, is growing in a positive way if we move in a positive way with it. I feel like a lot of barbers that are coming into the industry are coming with a very unrealistic notion that, I'm going to get my license and I'm going to cut Lil Baby or Do Baby or whoever whoever's, popping off right now and I'm going to make $1,000 a haircut. Actually, no, you got to put in, all of us that are popping off in the industry and we look like we're just rising stars. We actually put 10 years behind the chair before we even.
So basically, you're saying put some work in. Right?
You got to put your work in. You got to put the work
pay
in.
Your dues.
Yeah, and that's been my tagline. Like, put the work in.
Put the work in. And I feel, and I was a barber instructor at Simply Divine in Monrovia for a couple of months before I moved back to Vegas. And I'm going to tell you, I'm very impressed with a lot of the young upcoming barbers and hairstylists, like they have a lot of passion.
Yeah.
They're very creative. They
Yeah,
do
the
things that
creativity.
I never thought could be done. They're just very creative, and I am very proud of them. And a lot of them, I love seeing them on Instagram, and I love seeing, their haircuts, and I love seeing them compete and winning prizes and doing all of that.
Yeah.
So I feel like, the industry's moving in a good direction if we're moving with it in that same direction.
And you know what? You're right. That's a good point. But I got a question. I have a real question, right? A barber can be talented if he can do all these amazing things. But I got a question for them. Are they organized? They know how to manage their time. They know how to manage their clientele. Because we can all be creative. I know you manage your time very well. I know you manage your time very well as well. Me, I manage my time. I think I do, right? So with that being said, I got a special message from the cut. Let's show the barbers what app they have to use, what app they have to use to be organized. We got something fun from Howard University. Some kids talking about hair enhancements. How y'all feel about that? No,
I use them. I have to.
she says you use them.
I'm a natural girly. No enhancements.
Okay.
I
Well,
have to.
hey, we'll be back after these messages from the cut. Check this out.
I'm team no enhancements, but like, if you can't cut for real, give me that enhancement, bro. Like, just give it to me.
It depends. If you can tell, like, your hairline should not be dripping down.
Do what you want to do. Me personally, if it looks unnatural, wash that thing out. The chalk is just a little much for me, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it looks a little goofy in my opinion.
The cut and the enhancements, when you hoop, like the cut wear off a little bit, but when it's natural, like it lasts longer.
It depends. If I have like a special occasion I'm going to, I'm team enhancements, but like for every day, just like, something slight, something light, I'm not doing no enhancements.
Yeah, I'm team no enhancements. I don't rock with chalk, I ain't gonna lie. I like it super natural, as natural as possible.
I am team enhancements because sometimes it just makes the hairline, glow, makes it a little light, makes the boys look good, especially when they have tattoos on their arms. It's like, I don't know, I love it. If they like it, I love it.
All right. Shout out to the cut. You guys see it right there. Use the code Flano. You get 3 months of the pro package on the cut app. I'm telling you, man, it's hot. It's hot right now. And that was pretty cool, right? So that goes with college students, obviously, from Howard University. Shout out to Howard University for sharing the insight about enhancements, no enhancements. So diving into that, we're going to touch on that probably later on, because when we talk about charging your worth, we'll get into that. Skill versus social media. Obviously, we know we all have platforms. There's a platform here. Shout out to Gorilla Cross Studio, right? They have a platform. And they also have social media. You have social media on your page. You have social media. I do as well on several platforms. So what do you think? Skill versus social media. We talked about this the other day.
We did.
So you want to start first on that one?
Yeah, I'll start. So skill versus social media presence. I mean, all of us who have started cutting hair, 10 years ago, social media wasn't really like a thing back then. So we've grown our clientele, just literally in the shop organically. Yeah. Great word. Organically, through referrals, through literally walking up to someone on the street and saying, "Hi, I would love to cut your hair," or whatever.
Or your haircut. Who cut your hair?
Yeah. Or who cut your hair?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so, it's a little bit different. And then coming into this era now where social media is a big deal and going viral, it can happen really to anybody. We've all seen this. But I think it's really about how you want to, like the kind of service you want to provide and how you want to provide it.
Yes.
Because you don't need to go viral to be a successful barber. You don't even need to have social media to be a successful barber. So I think it's a good tool for sure. But again, I think that trust beats trends. Like it's
like
really,
that.
I love
Yeah,
that.
trust
Very
write that one
much.
down.
We need to put that on a
Listen.
t-shirt.
trust
I
beats
like that.
trends.
Y'all heard it here first.
Yep.
Trust beats trends.
Trust
Yes.
beats trends.
Let's put
It
that on a
does,
t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt.
We put that on a
Because
t-shirt.
trends are ever changing. They really are. I have clients I've been cutting for, almost 10 years, and I've given them like 5 different styles of haircuts.
Right.
Because the trends are always changing, but they still come to me because they trust me. And I mean, I think that's always going to trump like going viral, you know?
No, for sure. You touched based on that. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I agree.
I mean, Hey, shout out to the barber, yo. Shout out to the barber, man. Shout out to the barber. You know? So
I do agree. With 'cause skills pay the bills, baby. You know, skills pay the bills.
look,
So-
another T-shirt slogan. What's going on? What's
I actually
going
heard
on?
that
I
from
love
a friend.
it.
A friend says that all the time.
Oh,
so
she's giving credit to the friend.
I
That's
stole
cool.
that. But skills do pay the bills. You know, expect for me. I'm gonna just speak personally. I have to have social media presence because I'm a hair unit artist now. You know, I am a hair unit specialist. My clients aren't walking around telling my other people that they're wearing a unit, that they have a man wig on, or that they have a man
I
weave on.
wouldn't either.
Yeah, and yet they're not, you know? So my social media presence is actually my portfolio. People that are looking for this service are going to go online. I'm going to go on research who's doing it in the city, and I'm going to be the first one to pop up, you know?
right.
So for me, social media presence, and it's not even so much, if you go on my social media, I only have like 3,000 followers. I'm not like in the 100Ks range. I'm really not. I've never been viral. I've never done I don't do skits. I'm a horrible actor, you know. I can't follow script for nothing. But my social media is actually my digital portfolio. People can see my work on there. People can see what I do.
agree with
so
that,
for
yeah.
me, it's my digital portfolio. It's not so much of having the social media presence where you could see that I'm cutting a celebrity or a rapper, or I'm on stage, or I'm doing this, or which is very cool when you have celebrity clients, because I do have celebrity clients. You just can't see my celebrity clients.
Gotcha.
You know, I have a couple NDAs that I can't, release,
Right,
images of their faces, and sometimes, I have to do my clients, because I am in a shop where I have a private studio inside the shop, but even that's a little compromising. I have to come in on a Sunday or Monday when there's nobody in the shop, because they will be recognized right away.
Oh,
if they
for sure.
walk
I
in.
mean, let me tell you something. You want to be transparent.
Right.
If I'm saying a disclaimer, right? I'm not putting nobody on blast. I'm keeping it 1,000 with you, right? If I'm getting the man unit done and it's getting freshly done, I don't want nobody to know the secret now.
Nothing,
you know what I mean?
nothing.
And
And you can't tell that they're wearing one.
And you can't tell. I don't. For the record, y'all, I'm not wearing one. All right, let me make that very clear. I'm not wearing one. Okay, this is my actual natural hair. I used to have braids too, y'all. So this is my natural hair. Shout out to my man, Rosita Antoine. That's my barber, man. He out here in Vegas. He's over at the Vibe Studio in Blue Diamond, man. So shout out to my boy Antoine, man. That's also my gym partner as well. But anyways, no, I'm not wearing the man unit. But yes, Barber Boss Lady does great man units. I've seen her in action. In fact, she taught a class at a major league barber class that we had at a beauty show here in Vegas a couple of years ago. So she did her thing. She did her thing in there, and she cut the man unit down, blended it in, all nice.
You can't tell. You cannot
could
tell.
not tell the difference.
You can't. You can be standing behind one of my clients at the grocery store. You're standing right behind them, and you cannot tell the difference between their hair and the man unit. So for me, my social media presence is my digital portfolio.
And that's
it's
good.
how people can see my work.
Gotcha.
You know.
Perfect. Well put. Well put. Now we're gonna dive into this. Obviously, there's worth behind the haircuts. There's worth behind man units. There's worth behind what I do. I host events, I consult events, and I put together barber expos all over the country. But we're talking about y'all, not me, right? So charging your worth. Haley, right? You have particular haircuts. This is always a conversation. It's been a big thing. You guys have seen the reels and things I've shared about. People talking about, I charge 100 for a cut. I charge 40 for a cut. I charge 30 for, whatever the case may be. I've always was taught that whatever area you're in, you go with the demographic of that area.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I worked in the shop before where it was not in a real, how can I put this, prominent area in Chicago. And it was more so like, hey, we stick to one price, $15 haircut, $20 haircut, boom, boom, boom. That's it. We ain't going nothing above 25.
I remember when I started $15
Okay.
haircuts.
Right. So if you want to make more money, you either go to a nice, like uppity shop, what they call it from where I'm from, or you just, you can move around, go cut some basketball players, something like that, right? So with me, two shops I worked in, I cut at average prices. For me to make more money, I did go cut athletes. My clients consisted of Jimmy Butler, right? Cut him in college. My cousin Maurice Sacker, cut him in Marquette. Jarrell McNeil. All these guys, they went on and had successful careers, but they introduced me to certain people. Darren Williams. The list goes on with me. I don't talk about it because I don't have nothing to document any of that too much, but take my word for it. I'm not lying.
I believe you, because I don't
Okay.
have a lot of document either of the stuff I've done, and I'm I wish I did.
Yeah. But the number one celebrity that is your client that will always be loyal to you are the ones that come see you every single week. Can you
Yes.
agree, Haley?
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, charging your worth. How do you feel about that conversation that's been ongoing in the barber industry? And, how has that affected you in any kind of way? Has it affected you in any kind of way?
I think any entrepreneur can agree that there's a little bit of guilt that comes with, like, if you're raising your prices
Oh.
or, we always feel awful about it. But I mean, it's kind of a necessity. I like how you said about just depends the area you're in, what you should be charging. I totally agree with that about kind of the median range for where you are.
Right.
One thing that I'm not like a big fan of is people who do like $100 squeeze in, which let me explain. I think that's perfectly fine if you're already a fully booked barber.
Mm-hmm.
But like if you have time during the week to fit somebody in, but you want to tell them, oh, well, if you come on the weekend, I'm going to charge you double or triple.
Right.
That doesn't really like make any sense because you don't have any like sustenance behind that.
Good point. I'm going to say this. I've learned, so when I was in the shop cutting, holidays, I would never penalize somebody for calling me last minute
Exactly.
or coming a day before a holiday. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. If you a barber out here and you penalizing your client for coming at the last minute, not even worrying about them having, they have a life, they have to work, they have their kids, they got all these different things going on that they have to worry about before their own self, their own haircut, you should not penalize that person for coming at the last minute. Now, if they really want it done, they really need their haircut, they're going to take care of you. You should not force money out of them. So if you charge $75 for a haircut or $6 for a haircut, you should not penalize them an extra $40 or $50 because they were busy or they forgot to book or they're like, you know what? Because you got some people out here, especially nowadays, a lot of greedy barbers out here. There's a lot of barbers that have that. You may not be greedy as a person, but some of y'all got a greedy mindset. All right? So we got to understand that as barbers, don't have the greedy mindset because at the end of the day,
we're in service.
We're
in service for
service.
people,
We're
you know?
Service, we
That's
are
the bottom line.
Yes, we're service individuals, so we can't.
It's becoming too transactional.
Yeah, it's too. I mean, and here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna step in the client's shoes for a minute. I'm not gonna go into a barbershop and say, I'm not gonna go into a barbershop and my barber greets me, he's talking about, "What's up, bro?" Right? If you don't know my name, I'm not paying you $100 for a haircut.
If you don't know my problems,
you don't know my problems.
If you
You're
don't know
supposed to be my
what's going on in
therapist,
court.
bro. Come on, bro. You're supposed to be my therapist.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and touch base on that. Like, barbers, we're so powerful, right? We are therapists at the end of the day. We are like the most economic therapists ever that is ever lived. And guess what? No disrespect to therapists out there, licensed therapists. We're licensed barbers. So we can understand and relate more to people because I'm going to tell y'all something. When you have that client sitting in your chair and their back is towards you, you have their undivided attention. We as barbers, we have the impact of people listening to us. Y'all feel me? Like, we're that powerful when it comes to this. Like, it doesn't, like, we are the ones. I mean, I'll tell y'all a quick story real quick. I remember working in the shop. This was like 2007. I was at a shop, and there was this kid. This is really going to be this is a real story, no lie. There was a high school down the street, and there was a kid that used to come in the shop like every other week, and he was, you could tell something was going on in school, whether he was getting bullied or anything like that, right? So one day he came into the shop, and he was really upset. He threw his book bag down. He was sitting in a chair like, "Hey, what's up, Joe?" And his name was Brandon. I said, "Brandon, how you doing, buddy?" "Oh, I'm doing good. Now, mind you, I'm young, right? I'm like early 20s. I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not, but I think I'm a therapist, right? But I have common sense of what this kid was going through because I was the type of kid, I used to get bullied in high school too. I'm going to keep it one. I'm being real transparent with y'all, real vulnerable, right? I did too. So he came into the chair. He's like, "Yeah, listen, man. Oh, I had a rough day at school. I've been having a rough week." I said, "Really?" Like, "Yeah, man. I'm thinking about going to the school tomorrow, like with a gun."
Wow.
Oh my
Like,
God, give me chills.
Like legit,
Wow.
like with a gun. And I'm like, "Whoa, wait, hold on, Holmes. No, wait, you can't do that." oh man, it's these 2 kids, man. They keep, I thought they were my friends, this and that. I'm like, Brandon, you can't do that, bro. Because if you do that, you're gonna mess your whole future up. Then I'm not gonna be able to see you no more. So I kind of made him laugh a little bit. But I said, listen to him. He said, no, man. So eventually he left. I got a phone call when his dad called me. He was like, hey, thank you for talking to my son, Joe. Man, I really appreciate that. He's like, man, I'm glad you kind of know how to talk to him. And I'm like, listen, bro, I see this kid every week. And I look at him like he has a future ahead of him. But not only that, I'm thinking about the other people that really probably deep down inside don't mean to bother and hurt him or bully him. He gonna ruin their lives too. So now we got 2, 3, or more lives that are gonna be ruined because this individual didn't have anybody that he can vent to or talk to. Not saying that his parent or parents weren't there, but I'm the barber. Mm-hmm. I'm the guy that sees him grow up. I'm the guy that sees him grow into a grown man and see him come every single week that we talk about certain things. One week we talking about sports, other week we talking about don't bring a gun to school. So it kind of like, that's how powerful we are. That's how influenced that we are as barbers. Whether you're a man or woman, don't make a difference. So every once in a while, my advice, if you have a client that comes in, they might be down or out, whatever, whether they smiling or not. What's up, man? You good? I'm cool. That's good. Keep a conversation with them. That's what barbershops lack nowadays. There's no conversations happening in the barbershops. There's a lot of AirPods, a lot of music going on, a lot of TV and all that, but there's no real man versus man or woman versus man conversations happening. There's no community. Mm-hmm. So I think, again, that comes with charging your worth. They're not just paying. If you charge somebody $100 haircut, make it worth their while.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're already gonna give them a fire haircut.
Right.
Have meaningful conversations with them because I guarantee you they're gonna take that into consideration and they're gonna have no problem taking care of you and plus some.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's about the experience. Yeah,
it is
not
the
just the
experience.
haircut.
It's absolutely the experience.
You have to sell an experience as a barber. You can't just sell haircut. It's bigger than that. Haircuts were $20 back then, they're $100 now, whatever. Hair still grows the same. Mm-hmm. They still grow the same. Like if I could pay somebody $200 for a haircut, it's gonna take 2.5 weeks for it to grow back, and they can stay fresh like this for 2.5 weeks. Oh, you might be getting that $200, bro. You might be getting that $200. You might be. I
get that. I get that $200.
Yeah, right. You might just be getting that too. Well, see, she got the man unit, so that lasts about a month or two.
Yeah,
she cool. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna wood. I don't want that yet.
But let's not knock my guys. It's unfortunate. They've lost their hair. A lot of my guys are very young. 20s, 30s, very early 40s. I don't have 50, 60-year-olds like, I've said in my classes. I have very young men that are going through this very unfortunate loss of hair. Yeah. And it's like, that's their look. Men can't put on makeup like us. Man can't just put on a nice cute wig and, put it, you know what I'm saying? Like there's that, their only look is their hair, their beard, their face. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And crazy thing, I ain't mean to cut you off. Mm-hmm. Crazy thing is that she's like, that's like a man unit therapist.
Yeah.
I could come in and be like, Cyrus, barber boss lady, I'm going bald. I need you to, I'm bald. I need you to save my life.
Yes, and I do. I do be saving some lives.
And she saves their life just like that. Mm-hmm. And that is a beautiful thing. Again, therapists can't do that. Most people can't do that. Not even a doctor can go in and be like, I'm going to put some hair in you. I mean, they got all that, but you're going to spend a lot. I don't need nobody taking no hair from my beard to put on top of my, we ain't doing that.
Right.
But no, that's beautiful. And that kind of carries over into we're going to touch base next on growth and leveling up in the industry. But before we do that, I want to dive into the next message I have for you guys, man. Check out this video, y'all. We'll be right back on the Joe Flano Show. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, fam? It is late night and I'm super tired, but I have to pack up these orders so I can ship them out tomorrow. Right before I go into the barbershop, shout out to anybody that has bought a hat, shirt, socks, whatever it was that you did to support this business. We appreciate it. It goes a long ways. Welcome to the Dope Barber fam. I want to say this to anybody that has a goal they want to reach or they're trying to build a brand like me. This thing is not easy at all. You're going to have days where you want to give up, where you feel fatigue, where your energy is zapped because you put your all into it and nothing's happening. But just remember, you got to lay a brick a day. Don't try to do everything at once. Keep going, keep striving. Things will happen for you. Peace.
Shout out to Dope Barber Brand, Kali Cuts out of San Diego, man. That's my guy right there. He's a good dude. He's a really good dude, man. I met him several years ago, man. He started his whole barber brand. He got this cool shirt called Teenage Mutant Ninja Barber or something like that. Did I butcher it? I hope I didn't. Follow him on Instagram at Dope Barber Brand on IG. You know, if you go on his website, you type in J Flano, you get 30% off everything on the website. All right, cool. So now we talking about leveling up now. Leveling up in the industry, growth. Well, I think we kind of touched on that already so far, right? Over the years, you've grown in industry. You was well-grown in industry, transitioning from barbering into man units. You have grown from transitioning from a barbershop into your own suite and your own business, your own storefront now. So we've already touched base on that. You know, that's a lot of things that people dream of every single day. And the crazy part is that some of them are not or will never have an opportunity to do that. You know, like I know there was always levels to barbering, right? Coming from a kid that never cut hair before, learned how to cut hair in barber school, never cut hair bootleg in the shop, never did none of that. I was scared because I ain't want to get beat up if I messed up somebody's haircut. And then me building clientele in one part of Chicago, going to the other side, you know, being part of different shops, and then now creating a brand and creating a movement of creating barber expos now to where now everybody does a barber expo, right? Everybody does an expo. So leveling up, shows. Let's touch base on that. We talked about it before we started the show today. I saw you at the Fort Wayne Barber Beauty Expo.
Yes, sir.
This year.
And Rich Off Clippers
and
tour.
Rich Off Clippers tour. So shout out to my man Lil Lou at Rich Off Clippers, and also shout out to Bruce and Josh and the guys over there for Fort Wayne Barber Beauty Expo. And, you know, that was my first time seeing you do your thing, and you competed on stage.
I did at the Fort Wayne Barber and Beauty Expo this past September. I competed in 2 categories for my first ever barber competition. I did fastest fade, 15 minutes. I didn't place in that one. That was definitely challenging. That's a tough one. 15 minutes is a lot of pressure. But then I did flyest mullet, and I actually placed first, which was just like completely surreal and awesome.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's awesome.
I'm not gonna lie,
mullet?
y'all. I'm gonna be real.
Hell yeah.
She did a mullet. I'm not gonna lie. And she probably her first time hearing this. It was tough. It was a tough competition up there, right? She did her thing. I knew she was gonna place. I don't know if I said something to you in the hallway. I might have said
You
something.
might have,
I
honestly.
think I said something because I'm just that motivating guy. I'm just saying, y'all, right? But I'm gonna say this: like, she had a lot of competitors up there, a lot of great work. I knew she was gonna place, but I did not know you were gonna place first.
That's exactly how I felt. I felt confident that I would place, but first was an awesome shock. Like, for sure. It was cool.
It's almost like hitting the lottery.
Right.
Like she's like, oh, 3, 2, 1. I got it. Y'all. I got to pick 3. No, you definitely did that. Congratulations you on that. So how did that motivate you? Like, how did that inspire you?
Oh my gosh. So like, you know, everybody that cuts hair doesn't have to do a competition. But for me, I thought of it as like just a side quest. Like, I love my job. I'm passionate about it, but I wanted to just see, is there more? So definitely competing in the competitions not only showed me, you know, different barbers' work and, you know, it's competition,
Right.
but also I got to connect with a lot of these barbers. I went to Rich Off Clippers tour to compete in November, a month after my first competition. I probably gained like 30 followers at that event, all barbers, men and women, just connecting with everybody. It was great.
Right.
I competed in Best Female Barber there. Out of 11, I placed 3rd. So that was just even more motivating to me. Like, not only do I want to compete a little bit more, but also, you know, it just makes me really want to lock in with my cuts. Like, I see, if I don't place and I'm looking at the first place winner, I'm seeing this cut. I'm seeing what is precision. I'm seeing what is being looked for. Like,
Right.
and I'm just striving
Challenging
towards that, you
yourself,
know,
yeah.
and then
That's good,
just
yeah.
meeting all these other barbers, getting to collab and learn from each other. Like, it's great.
Right. For sure.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's all about. That's good. You broke that down pretty good. I'm very genuinely happy for you, and I'm glad you.
Thank you.
You know, you didn't just get one trophy. I'm done. I'm good. I'm out. You know, don't do that. You know,
Nah,
don't
I'm
do
too
that.
competitive for that.
Too competitive. Obviously, you said you competed exotics right back in the day. Shout out to my man Kurt. I've known Kurt for well over 20 years. You probably never heard of Exotics before, I would assume, right?
I have not.
Okay,
Oh, that's OG, baby.
OG, super OG.
So OG.
So
I don't even bring it up because nobody that I know knows about it.
Yeah, so real quick, like so obviously Major League Barber, we've been around for years. We did our thing for a while, whatever, and different things like that. And then obviously Exotics was like right there, Hair Battle Tour, all those guys over there, man. All the guys, whole crew, I know all those dudes. It's funny, Exotics LA used to be around the same weekend we used to do one in Long Beach at the ISSE show. And I just seen some Facebook memory stuff that I saw on there. I'm like, oh man, this is cool, you know, different things like that. Shout out to the dog. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the
Little
dog.
baby.
Shout out to the dog, right? But anyways, you competed in that. What was your experience with that? And then now you've seen the evolution real quick, right? We can touch this real quick. What have you seen different when it comes to the barber battle, when it comes to stuff like that? Like you saw what it saw back then. Like, what do you think the difference is now compared to that?
Definitely, it's a lot more organized now. Before it was just like throwing us all up in, on stage and us having our little flashlights and now, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, I think it was in a nightclub. We did that, that conference was in a nightclub. So, the setting wasn't very, it was great. I had that was the most amazing time I had. I had such a great time. I met DC. I met a lot of people there, but now that I'm in the show space, I wasn't after that competition. I opened my shop, and so then I just for the next 10 years I just focused on growing my business. But now that I'm in the shows again and I'm showcasing, I'm educating, I'm working for companies. I absolutely think that it's important for all barbers to go to the shows. For barbers and beauticians. Beauticians go to the barber shows and barbers go to the beautician shows, because you learn so much. You experience and you network. That is such an essential part of our industry, to get to know who's doing what's going to happen, what's the new trend, who's winning what's in the competitions, what it takes to compete, what it takes to win. Like, I just feel like that sparks your life better than just being in the shop every single day. And a lot of people kind of feel like they cap out, like, okay, this is where if you go to the shows, then you meet the vendors and you meet the new products, and then you can actually collaborate, and the collaboration is what I love the most. Because before it was a lot of competition between us, like the shops were competing with each other, and a lot of shit talking,
Oh, a lot of shit talking.
A lot of shit talking.
Bleep,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but here's the thing. It's good competition, right? Now guys go to the barber battles and different things like that, and they have a really good time. There's a lot of camaraderie. You got some of the hood joints. I'm not going to lie. You got some hood barber battles that happen in different, My events are not like that, right? They're completely great energy, good energy. I don't think if you've been to any of my barber expos yet, but like it's crazy. I mean, you're talking about thousands of people, and it's like I don't even call it a show. It's like an operation.
It's a convention.
It's a convention. She's seen it. It's whole
beautiful.
convention. It's
beautiful.
It's people that go. I don't even know that's there. You see what I'm saying? So it's really cool. It's really cool. We're gonna touch base on that when we get back. We got another message, man, from you know who, Habibi sunglasses, man. We'll be right back, y'all.
Oh, I am loving these Habibi sunglasses. When it comes to luxury real estate, you need some luxury lenses to go with it. And my favorite parts, look at these spring hinge. Spring hinge over here, flexible, lightweight, doesn't leave marks on your nose or on the side of your head at the end of a long day. But my favorite part is how you can see through transparent lenses. See, I can make eye contact with my big dog client tag. We're talking business. See, I need to make eye contact, but I don't have to keep taking off my glasses and squint, I'm just looking straight through the shades, day and night wear. I mean, look at this pair. So many options. Habibi got me.
Shout out to Habibi sunglasses. If you guys use the code Flano30, you get 30% off. Buy one, get the other one 30% off. Oh, y'all look different. Wait a minute.
Habibi gets me every time.
Yeah, Habibi.
At every show, he gets me. I get a pair.
Yeah, y'all just have to, okay. So we all rocking the Habibis now, right? That's what I'm talking about. Y'all look fly.
You look fly.
You look hella fly. You look hella fly.
Yeah.
You look hella fly.
We look hella fly.
That's cool.
But this was unintentional. This is how we are so tight in our community. Like, we buy these at the conventions, and I had this in my car. She brought these from Indiana, right? And she just
Even my sister's got some.
Yeah, she got some too. Shout out to Ashley, y'all. Shout out to Ashley over there. You know what I mean? She cracking up. All right, so we're back. And now this is what I want to touch base on, right? So as far as, the barber culture is definitely grown. Okay. You got people coming out with opening up different shops, opening up suites, doing man units, having apparel. You've seen some messages from the Dope Barber brand, right? This shirt behind me right here, right? Barber Nerd. Shout out to my guy Marshawn in Chicago for Barber Nerd on Instagram, Barber Nerd LLC. You'll see more of him on this podcast. He's an official sponsor as well on this podcast. So I want to touch base on Barber Expos. Little history, Major League Barber. We started the Barber Expo thing. Like, it was weird. Also, doing that, there was also another gentleman that actually, that played a part in. Now we do two of the biggest regional shows in the country now. Also we got my man Jay Majors, obviously CT Barber Expo. And then also myself, Midwest Trade Show Chicago, which is happening. Both of them are happening in the summertime, ironically now, right? Crazy, really, really crazy, really cool. Touched on what you said, Osiris, though, as far as being a close-knit community. Every show we go to, we do see the same people.
Yes. Yes, we
Yeah.
do. Mm-hmm.
That's almost almost any industry, right? You went to two back-to-back shows, Haley, and you saw some of the same people that was there,
Yep.
even though it was in the same
We
state.
have our own celebrities, our own celebrity barbers.
We have our own celebrity barbers. We got guys that walk around with sunglasses on like this inside.
Yeah, guys that walk around with security.
No pun intended, right? Security. I might get a security guard. I might get one. But anyway, no, you got guys to do that, but it's its own industry. And when it comes to the Barber Expos, I think it's been really good for the industry because there's different brands that are there, right? Now I'm going to touch base on that just real quick. Clipper companies that go to events, a lot of them have not been going to a lot of events lately. When COVID came, it kind of like slowed a lot of things down. But I think a lot of brands got comfortable because they feel as if they don't need to connect with the people. And be honestly with y'all, they never connected with the people, right? So, and I'm not bashing no Clipper brand. I'm keeping it a buck on this show, y'all, just so y'all know. I'm keeping it a buck, right? A lot of the Clipper companies, they come up with the same clipper all the time. Same, different color, whatever, but it's the same clipper. I think they need to do more for the barber community. I don't think they give back enough to the barbers. We've spent thousands of dollars on clippers. We've bought the same clipper over and over again, right? And there's never really been a thank you from clipper companies to the barbers. But that's a whole nother conversation. We'll talk about that on the next show. Now, what I'm saying with you two, as far as the barber industry, how do you see it evolving, over the next, I'm going to say in the next year or so?
You want to take this one?
That's a good one. How do I see it evolving in the next year? I see a lot of shop owners. A lot of studio owners, right? Because I see a lot of that. I see a lot of people getting away from working inside a shop and steering into their own suites and becoming shop owners. So that's where I see it in a year. I see a lot of people, a lot of barbers not putting in the time in a shop and going straight into ownership. That's where I see it.
I'm gonna touch base on that. I think if you're a barber just getting out of barber school, I don't think you should get a school.
Yeah, but that's where it's going, and that's how I see that a lot.
And I also see a lot of barbers that are doing that are getting out the game.
Only the passionate ones are really going to last, the ones who are
that we
serious
love
about
what we
it.
do.
Right. And I think what plays a huge part with what you do and what you do as well, y'all both passionate, right? I'm not going to get on here and say if you got a studio, you won't be successful.
No, that's
I'm not
going
to get on here and say, if you got a studio, you want to get new clientele. If you got business cards, if you got a good attitude, if you're approachable, you'll be just fine. I'm saying if there's a student coming out of barber school with no value, no clientele, it's going to be very tough for them to build, especially if they're looking just to get in the industry to make a quick dollar, right? Quick dollar. You have 9 years. You have 20 years. And you do other different things. So, like, you guys are, these individuals, y'all good, right? But I'm talking about a lot of other barbers. I go to schools on a regular basis, and I've talked to students. I'm going to get my own studio. You have no clientele.
Well, I was an instructor at a barber school, so.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? How are you gonna build your clientele up, right? You can't even go on Vistaprint and get $10 cards. So how do you think you expect to succeed? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to social media, put up some posts. Cool.
And that's really what they think. They think that they're just putting up some posts on social media. It's really what's going to grow their business, but it's not going to grow their customer service. It's not going to grow their conversation. It's not going to grow their knowledge. It's not going to grow their intellect. It's not going to grow that personification that you have with people.
Correct.
Well, and a lot of that stuff you learn from other barbers in the shop, working around other people. It's like you said earlier, there is levels to this.
Exactly.
And you have to go through all the levels.
You gotta go through all the levels. You got to. You gotta
having your studio is not level 1.
You gotta go through the training wheels and fall off that bike when you take them training wheels off a little bit and get some scrapes.
You got to go through some bad barbershop owners and some good barbershop owners, you know.
Get a little traumatized by some bad clients, you know.
Oh man, yeah. We can talk about that.
I can talk about that all day.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I've seen some stuff.
For sure. You know, again, I think the barber industry is growing. It's definitely growing. I see it growing even more. I'm not gonna lie, right before COVID, I really thought it hit its peak because everything was rolling. You know, I was working with different brands and different things like that. Then 2020 came, it kind of like froze everything. For those who know what I'm talking about, I was going Instagram Live almost every day when everything was shut down. I had a tax dude on there talking about taxes. I mean, I was still rolling. Like, I was good. Financially, I was still doing what I was doing. We had able to catch up on with our Major League Barber apparel, different things like that. So all that stuff played a part. But I think during that time, COVID brought the barber industry to a standstill.
Yeah.
But then it also, again, goes back to what I said earlier, it made a lot of barbers greedy to the point like, I'm going to get mine. I don't care about you. I got to get mine anyway. And, you know, I'm not going to get religious on here, but it's in the book. You can't get greedy. You can't get greedy, right? You can't give grudgingly, and you also can't get greedy because that stuff comes back around because there's going to be a time that you're going to need something. And somebody that you might be asking something from might be greedy, may not want to give it to you. If that makes any sense.
Or I mean, not even greed, but like ego, pride.
Right. Or like, I don't want to share. I don't want to give you what I know. Like, that's, yeah.
So with that, COVID checked a lot of people's ego.
Yes.
Right? It checked people's, I mean, I seen some dudes check the ego. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. I'm going to tell y'all something. Vulnerable. I go to a spin cycle class every Wednesday.
Okay.
Hold
Joe.
on, right? I go to spin cycle every Wednesday, right? I found out my ego was checked in the gate that day. I'm talking about this guy's like, yo, Joe, what you doing? Speed up, Joe. Your bike's still on green. It's still on white. It got to go to blue. It got to go to red. I'm like, all right, bro. I got in the class like, I'll knock this out. 1 hour. But 1 hour on a bike. So we talking about ego. That was a prime example of checking, because I thought I could do it. Oh, this ain't nothing. They would check my ego. So I think some barbers out here need their ego checked. I'm the one for it. I've had people call me, say, hey, man, I do this, I do that, I can do this. Okay, cool. I had a dude say, I can host a show. Cool. We give you a microphone, you go on the stage, host in front of thousands of people. Hello?
Yes.
Hello, somebody there? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think on the business side, some of these guys are going to have to get their shops closed down. Some of them are going to have to lose clientele to understand the value of having something that they got to hold dear to them, that they got to respect. You know what I mean? Like, I know we talk about the booking apps. Shout out to the Cut app, right? But just because you have an app, and that's what I love about nowadays, that the barbers still have to communicate with the client.
I don't have a booking app.
Well, you still communicate old school. That overexceeds what I just said, right? That's even better. Okay?
I don't have a booking app.
No, you're good. You know what I'm saying? It's not either whether you have one or not. It's good to communicate with your people.
Yeah, I always do.
Okay, so I see the culture evolving more into the communication part. I think it'll get better digitally and physically, and then also going to the shows. Continue to go to the shows. Continue to build with people. Continue to have fun. Continue to get on platforms like this and sharing our messages. You know, because at the end of the day, like, look how beautiful we're in. Like, we're talking about, I have a T-shirt brand behind me. As a barber first, turns into apparel. They didn't do that 20 years ago.
No.
Major League Barber, we had shirts. They was laughing at us. Shout out to Nuri Naji. They was laughing at my guys with barber T-shirts. They was like, oh, this was that barber. That's cute. But we still here. Still relevant. I got a chain on with a palm tree with a razor. It's carried over into that. It's gotten to that point. We know we're able to share a message on a platform such as here, right? And to talk about our paths, talk about our beginnings, talk about our journeys, you know? And we're going to inspire some people that watch this, you know? So with that being said, this is beautiful. And if you want to become a barber today, y'all, you could become a barber. I started at the age of 17.
14.
14.
19.
19. Okay? Anybody can do it. So with that being said, I want to give you guys a good message. Shout out to Revival Barber Academy. I'm going to let you know if you're in the Lafayette, Indiana area, go check out my man. But check out this video. Let's go.
At Revival Academy, we exist to build more than careers. We build futures. Our mission is to advance the next generation of barbers and stylists by providing equal and fair opportunities for growth, education, and success. We are deeply grateful for the support of our community because together we believe if we change one, that one may change millions.
Shout out to my guy Rocco from Revival Barber Academy. I gotta do a huge shout out. Shout out to The Cut. Shout out to Barber Nerd, Dope Barber Brand, Habibi Sunglasses. Man, I appreciate you guys, man, being part of. This is the Joe Flano Show. You can follow us and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify to, man, check out the vibe, man. We gonna get it going. This is cool. Shout out to Gorilla Cross Studio as well for allowing us to be here. All right, so we're gonna dive into this one last thing. Now I'm going to freestyle this off the top of my head, y'all, right? I'm going to ask you guys, ladies, what do y'all want to talk about? What is something that you've been holding in until you got on the Joe Flano Show that you want to just share? You just know it's like one of those things you're like, oh man, I want to say this so bad. I can't wait to say this. What is something? Anybody can go first. This is your moment. Remember, let's imagine me being like a little voice in your head. This is your moment. This is your time.
I want to speak to all the male barbers in our industry, and I want to ask you guys to be more protective of us female barbers in the industry.
That part.
Please, because I have, now that I'm in, the show space, I have heard some horrendous stories. I have heard some terrible, traumatic stories that some of the women in our industry have endured that have actually pushed them out of the industry because there's no protection from our fellow male barbers. And I feel like as we're not females or we're not male barbers, right? We're all barbers in the same industry. We're all co-workers in the same industry. We're all in the same community. And I feel like we're brothers and sisters. So let's take care of each other as brothers and sisters. If I see somebody being disrespectful to a male or female, right? I'm going to say something, right? There's an incident that I don't want to call out any names. I'm not going to do that. A female barber was assaulted in New York last year at a event, and she was assaulted in front of a lot of people in the after party, whatever it was, and it got around to all of us, and they told us what happened and who had done it, and a lot of people were upset about it, but this person didn't get any consequences. He's still working. He's still being, represented by certain brands that we spoke to them about him, and we try to, say something and speak up and say, hey, this person behaves this way, acted this way, assaulted somebody in this manner. We don't think that they deserve to have this platform. And they still have this platform. Why? Because people are scared to speak up, or they just want to turn the other cheek, or they take monetary over morals. So I just feel like I just want to ask our fellow male barbers, and I'm really nervous saying this, because I know somebody's going to watch this and they're going to come at me and say, why did you say that? Why did you have to talk about that? Or why are you, but I just feel like I'm just asking for protection. I'm a 40-year-old woman, but there's a lot of young female barbers coming into the industry that have no idea, that need protection, that need to be taken care of. And I'm asking for the new generation of female barbers coming into the industry. You guys just look after the girls, and make sure that they're okay if they get too drunk at a party or at one of our after party events. Like, just take care of them, talk to one of the other girl bars. Hey, that's all.
That's beautiful. I like that. And
Needed to be said.
I recently talked to a lady barber. She's a little younger. And she said she's going to get out the industry because she feel like she gets offended every time. At a shop, at a show, whatever case may be. I'm keeping it real. That's what she said. And all I can tell her is that, hey, man, you got to hang in there. But if you feel comfortable that you don't want to be in it because of that, then you have to do what you have to do. I understand that. Haley?
Yeah, I mean, definitely just speaking to being a woman in a male-dominated field, I think it is easy to discredit us for one thing or another just because we're women. But I mean, we just have to work a little harder with our professionalism to prove our place in the industry. And I think, just the men kind of need to respect it a little bit more.
Yeah, but our safety
Like-
shouldn't be, something that they play with,
Mhm.
Yeah, if they want to test us, if they want to put us on the grinder and
Right.
that's cool.
Right.
We're up for the challenge, but I think our safety shouldn't be compromised.
Right.
100%.
Interesting. That's pretty good. Y'all like, I mean, look, that's a real message. Anybody listening to this and you know somebody that's going through or went through some things, this is a good message for them. Nobody should take any kind of level of disrespect, especially a woman in our industry. With it being, I know I said earlier, people look at this as a male-dominated industry. You know what? It is male-dominated industry, but don't mean you have to be dominated by the man. You don't have to be disrespected by the man.
Exactly.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So, and it's coming from a man, okay? Like, so you just got to understand that. Now, anybody that follows me on Instagram, they know I put up a lot of different things supporting everybody. And, and with saying that, I'm going to say this real quick. Women entrepreneurs, you guys are changing the way the industry is shaped nowadays. Like, there's a lot of ownerships. We got 2 ownerships here. Like, you guys are doing that. And I think a lot of men get jealous. And I think it goes back to what we said, ego, pride. You feel me? So, but they think because it's that, they can just disrespect anybody, call she girl.
That's sad.
That's sad. So we don't want to, we're not doing none of that. To get off that serious note though, I appreciate you for saying that. We have to end this with like a really cool, like some fun stuff. Cause I'm a fun guy. Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about, what's some fun things that you guys experience, ladies have experienced in the shop, like working in behind the chair. I mean, everybody has their story. I had a stalker when I worked in the barbershop.
A girl stalker or a guy
girl
stalker? These guys get obsessive.
Yeah, no, I have a funny story,
and Joe
but I'm
with
not
a
going
deep
to talk
voice,
about that. No disrespect. I'm keeping it a buck. No. Females definitely. I had one for sure, but like I got out of that.
That was fun.
It was fun. It was very interesting. Actually, I mean, it was like one of those like I didn't move shops. I just kind of like. I had to park my car in the back of the shop, so don't nobody.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it was weird.
Wow. The fact that you say that's fun, it just shows you
it was fun. It was
the difference between men and women, right?
Just saying, man. We go through it too, y'all, fellas. Come on, can I get some witnesses in here? I don't know what I'm saying. Like we go through it too. We got stalkers too. Okay, we got people that stalk us too. But yeah, in the barbershop, oh man, I got stories. So like, what's like something funny that happened? Like, not just that, but like, what's just something funny, like a funny client or like a funny haircut you may have done, or like a haircut you might have messed up on, right? Like, what's like one of your funniest moments?
Oh gosh. Okay. So at the first shop that I worked at, where I built up a lot of my clientele, I was there for 2 years, and I still to this day cut, a good amount of my clientele is from that shop, and I'm now at my 4th location. Okay. But at that shop, I was cutting a new client, and I was really new to it, and I was, always nervous and stuff. And he told me what he wanted. He said, "I want 2 on top, 1 on the side." Okay, that's what he said to me verbatim. 2 on top, 1 on the side. So I take a number 2 guard, and I go, "Vzz." And he says, "Oh, I meant 2 inches on top."
I will see that right there. That tells us stuff.
God.
Okay, I don't need to hear no more.
Oh my God.
I already know. Oh, you ain't got to say no more. I already know how
Your
that.
soul came out of your body.
I'm still horrified. Like this was, years and years ago. But he wasn't really nice about it. And he was like, "All right, I'm going to try to hide it from my wife." She was sitting up at the front waiting. So we tried to like comb some of it over, and I just cut the rest and we left it. He's like, "I'll just grow it out."
Let's see.
But as soon as we go up there to check him out, his wife's like, "So what do you got going on up top?"
Right.
We're
See?
like, miscommunication. So I'm extra thorough with my consultations now.
Yes.
See, there it is. So she learned her lesson.
Yes.
Now, real quick, we got like a minute. What about you?
Oh my God, I can't think. Think something funny in the shop. Okay. Not in the shop, but in the first shop that I ever worked at, 20 years old, right? Our boss took us all out, to the club. He was like, he's a big party guy. Super funny. And I'll always remember this about him because he's passed now. His wife was upset that he was out with us. So she like didn't come pick him up. So I was driving just a 2-seater. So we had to throw him in the trunk.
Wow. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That went on a good note on that one, y'all.
So that was something fun that I always remember.
Barber in the Trunk series coming soon.
Barbershop owner,
Barbershop
my boss
owner
in the trunk. And I drove driving an hour and a half in LA traffic.
That was beautiful. I just had to end it on a funny note. Listen, I appreciate you both for being here. You know, you ladies are definitely some inspiring. You guys inspire me, right? You entrepreneur driven women. And you know, I wish nothing but success for you guys. You want to say your Instagram name?
At Barber Boss Lady.
Yeah, Barber Boss Lady. Haley?
At H. Paul Hair.
H. Paul Hair. All right. So listen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You guys can watch this full episode on YouTube. Subscribe to the page, The Joe Flano Show. Also on Spotify, The Joe Flano Show. And shout out to the Cut app. All right, presented by also Barber Nerd, Dope Barber Brand, Habibi Sunglasses, Revival Barber Academy. Shout out to my boy Twan with the fresh cut. Appreciate you, bro, at the vibe. And listen, do what you love what you do. Until next time, I'll see y'all soon. All right, let's go. Peace.